Greetings, esteemed viewers. Welcome to part 6 of Cave Story. And right now we're gonna do some bullshit to make sure Curly doesn't die. And this bullshit is not obvious.
Are you supposed to be carrying her, or did
yes.
you two just fuse together?
No, okay, like before the boss fight in the last part, I picked up a tow rope. There was like a sparkly thing.
Yes, I saw the tow rope.
I used that to tether Curly to me. And that tow rope does not appear if you talk to Professor Booster, like when he falls. So the only way to have that get down there is if you skip him entirely. And that's the only way you can save Curly, and you need to save Curly to get the good ending. But
it really didn't seem like she needed to be saved. You were the one drowning.
Well, yeah. See, she had an air bubble thing, so she gave us some of her, NPC invincibility, so that we wouldn't suffocate. But then she did.
So she sacrificed herself to save us.
Yeah. So now we can't leave her hanging. So now we have to we have her tethered to the back of our head, taped her to my hat, and now we're carrying her around. And see, this is the current thing I was talking about. Like, it's not too bad now, but it gets a lot worse. And like this room right here, I don't like it very much. I don't even know how to get through it consistently. I just go in random directions until it puts me in the right way. But I'm killing all the jellyfish first before.
I also see they're spiked, and I have to assume those will pop your bubble.
They will do more than that.
Well, that's no fun.
Yeah, but you see, this is it's pretty much, it's basically random.
No, there's.
No, I mean, like, yes, it's deterministic, but like, it's really hard. And this jump, if you miss that jump, you have also screwed yourself out of the good ending. So don't miss that jump.
Why? What's at the bottom of that current?
We have to go there later. That's just the rest of the level.
You have to get to this area.
Yeah. So what we have to do, we have to sleep. We have to put her in the bed. We have to find a notebook, and we have to like go around, and we have to touch on everything until it gives us the option to see. Like, this is the thing. I should have been able. Nothing changed about the notebook. Why couldn't I open the notebook before looking at the computer screen?
Because you didn't know you needed to.
Yeah.
I shouldn't, like,
if you're okay, there are clearly books on both of those shelves, but you just decide that nothing is of interest until you know that the notebook is important.
No, it said there was a notebook covered in dust. There's a notebook covered in dust.
Look at the sprites for the shelves. There's clearly other things on the shelves.
Yeah, but we saw the notebook before we looked at the computer.
I will say, to some degree, in Brian's defense, oh no.
Oh no?
Okay.
Oh.
I couldn't hear you, but apparently you could still hear me great.
Right.
No, I will say in Brian's defense, for a game that has RPG elements, you're not really playing a role if you can't just choose to read something.
Yeah, so, like, if it's there, I should be able to read it, and I would have opened it, and I would have gone, oh, okay. And then you have to, after Curly falls back asleep, you have to talk to her, try to talk to her 3 times before you can pick her up. And if you don't pick her up, she's just there for the rest of the game. Like, I don't understand, like, why it had to be so specific and involved in order to, do the simple task. And this section here, this is interesting, because, like, I was kind of holding back on the D-pad to slow myself down a little to give me more time to react, but when you do that, you move the camera backwards, so I can't even see what's coming up, so it doesn't even matter. But yeah, this is,
yes.
Yep. Oh, it didn't pop my bubble. We were wrong.
Yeah. No, it just hurts a lot.
Not as much as they could, though. They're supposed to do like a fucking 127.
Yeah.
And this is actually a boss that comes out of fucking nowhere. This is Metalhead. And
I was gonna say, he doesn't look very metal. I mean, he looks like he has some metal. Oh no, she's flown away. Where are you going?
Yep.
You've made literally no efforts to try to stop her from floating away.
And then we end up here and she doesn't somehow?
Literally no efforts on your part. You were just like, well, this bubble is mine now.
Well, what was he supposed to do? Was he supposed to make a lasso out of the tow rope or something?
I mean, he should be able to swim.
Well, clearly he can't. Otherwise, the whole air meter thing would be much less of an issue
I
in the
get
first
that
place.
he's, like, heavy enough that he can sink to the bottom. But he should still be able to, like, push himself a little bit.
You know, yeah, you're right.
Is it not a single effort was made to save her?
Right. And then look, he was okay after he fell from like what was that 5 stories, maybe 6? But no, he's fine. His glasses aren't even fucking broken. I'm Professor Booster. And now we get a jetpack that is actually way better than the jetpack we would have gotten had we talked to him initially. And it just all stops making sense.
I mean, he had to make it better to get himself out of the hole.
Yep.
Yeah, but why isn't he injured?
Because reasons.
Excuse me.
You finally, 4 episodes later, examined the lipstick that you stole.
I'm playing this on my computer, and I actually played it by Bluetooth linking my Wii remote to my computer. But I had to map like keyboard buttons to my Wii remote, and I didn't bother to map the menu button for some reason. But now I'm going to actually get the best gun in the game. This gun that I'm going to get, if I can ever pass this, I'm just getting used to the jetpack. But the gun that I'm going to get is actually a super upgraded version of the first gun that I had. But in order to get it, you have to, because at the beginning of the game we stole it from the dude. He was just sleeping, and we took the gun and we left. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring it back to him, and then he's going to be so moved by how much murder I have accomplished with the gun that he's gonna make the gun better. And he wouldn't do that if you got the machine gun. So that's why I didn't do that. Even though I prefer the machine gun in principle, like I really like flying around with the machine gun, but this gun is way better in terms of just raw damage. But yeah. And I think he might say, don't quote me on that, but maybe it's a different version, because like if you play Cave Story Plus, I think they changed the dialogue a little bit. But because I've seen this guy say like 2 different things, and I'm just trying to remember why that is.
Wait, you remembered that he said something different?
It was slightly different. I remember random things, I admit, like it doesn't make any sense. But this gun is so great because you don't have to pick anything up in order to level it up. You just have to charge it up. And its base form is what it was at level 3 before, and if you hold it, you can shoot like lasers that go across the screen, which is really, really very helpful, especially later in the game when there are just a lot of enemies spread around, even worse than it is here. But this is just like kind of like a training, a training section to get you used to the idea of the thing. So, but yeah. I wish there was a way you could get both this and the machine gun though, because it would be nice if you could collect all the guns in the game. Not that all of them are necessarily worth collecting, but just for like completion's sake, like I note that I'm not usually a completionist, but like when there are things like I can get different powers, I generally try to get all those because I like the gameplay variety that it affords. And I can just kill things in a bunch of different ways. I guess that makes me violent, but... yeah. So,
I'm glad that we all just simultaneously decided to not respond to him at all. I was really hoping that you would all also not say anything, so they would have that moment of awkward silence.
Were you doing that on purpose?
I mean, I wasn't, but...
He's like, yep, well, I'm a violent person. I was gonna make a joke about it, but I was like, nah, I'm just gonna let him let that sink in. I just like being OP.
Yeah.
Like, whatever makes me feel way too powerful is what I want.
No, I'm the exact same way.
Oh no, not back to the eggs, no.
It's okay, because someone fucked everything up.
Something I don't like about this game is the fact that it doesn't tell you if you need to do things.
Yeah, that's kind of a... Like, are you talking about, like, finding the upgraded guns or just things in general?
Well, like,
yeah.
that and things in general. Like,
yeah, because, like, again, there are very specific points in the game where you have to do things in order to accomplish things later that don't seem to be connected. And I just think it could have been thought out a little bit better. Like,
oh, hey, look.
Yeah. The dragon?
There's a baby dragon.
Yeah. And then now we're gonna wreck the shit.
Still pretty small for the egg it was in.
Yeah, you're right. But, you know, it's a decent size. There's a dragon later that's a little bit bigger. Another thing
is there a reason you're not running along the bottom?
Because I can't proceed. Like, as you see there, under, like, egg 11, there's a that. So. Otherwise, I totally would, because, like, yeah! Fuck that electric thing that was here before! And this is here from now for one.
Some of them are dead.
And so is Cthulhu, apparently, because he was here, and actually, you know what? That's probably why the dragons are smaller, because they probably hatched prematurely.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
Way to let yourself get
Also, if you notice in the corner, that's Cthulhu. That's the guy. You see him? Little green and, like, white on the side.
Where?
What?
On this, the second, like, thing with the spikes, the 2 spikes that are on the right wall. You see the bottom one? It has, like, okay.
Well, okay, well, I'll take your word for it.
It had something that kind of looked like a green head and then, like, white clothing.
Oh,
I wasn't seeing it.
I saw it.
Alright, well, I believe you. I believe you.
So now he's dead.
Oh well, one less Cthulhu.
Good thing we haven't been attached to any of these characters at all.
Cough, cough. Hint, hint. But yeah, it's interesting that these dragons hatch prematurely, yet they can still spit giant fireballs at my face.
Yeah, see, the fact that they're still alive and able to move makes me think they weren't born premature.
Well, I don't know. Maybe they just, I don't know.
No, I think they were. I think they were, because there's one dragon later, this is the same type of egg as these. And it's way more, like, stable looking, I guess.
Well, they're also bleeding from their eyes.
Yeah.
So that's also.
Yeah, I'm thinking these are preemies. Not necessarily these ones though. And when I say these ones, I'm talking about anytime now. There we go. They're the
these
sisters.
are bigger.
Yeah. So and their eyes are green. So I'm thinking these are like fully matured dragons that hatched at the right point. But you don't. Little fun fact: you don't actually have to do this fight. If you look up in the upper left-hand corner, you can see a little black spot where there's kind of like an opening. If you leave through there, you can leave through there at any point in the boss fight, and it'll just skip it. And you wouldn't necessarily know that unless you like try or do it accidentally. But I certainly didn't know that the first time I did this. But it's pretty easy with the
Meet the sisters.
Yeah, like.
It's not like they introduced themselves.
Yeah, the game does that a lot, where it just reveals the name of whatever it was, like with no pomp or circumstance or anything to that effect.
Why did you come back?
Because I actually left through, like, the entrance.
wrong door.
Yeah, and I'm trying to find where I'm supposed to. Come on, dude. Okay, now I'm getting annoyed.
Okay, 'cause, I mean, if you're looking for the other door, there clearly is another door.
No, I didn't see it as the thing, so I thought, did I not do that? And I really should have cut there. But I didn't because I
I
missed
don't know,
it.
I think you just want us to make fun of you.
No, that was bad. I admit that was bad. I'm sorry. But,
I would also like to point out that the windows are on the wrong sides of the room. But, like, that's a very, very common level design mistake.
What?
Like, okay, so you look at it from the outside. The high window is on the left, the low window is on the right.
Yeah.
You look at
Oh,
it from
yeah, I
the
see.
inside. It should be flipped, but it's not.
He did flip it, but he flipped it wrong.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, that is kind of.
And, like, there's also the argument to be made that it might have been done so that it'd be more, accessible for people who aren't paying that much attention. Like Brian.
Yeah.
Because, like, as a gamer, what's your first instinct? Move to the right.
And then you got games like Sonic Advance that start punishing you for doing that.
Oh no, egg number 0 is also not here. I am so shocked and appalled.
But don't know how.
it's Kazuma.
Yeah, I do not know how he could possibly have gotten through here. Because we needed a fucking jetpack and a gun to do it. This guy with his...
magic.
He doesn't have magic. The doctor has magic.
Yeah, not that you know of.
I mean, I feel like he would have used it, like, in a way, you know, productive. But, this is, like, if you can choose to leave with him, and the game ends. You can choose to end the game right here. You can choose to just fuck off and abandon everything and everyone.
Yeah, there's some other games like that too. It's always interesting.
I was just like, what the fuck, Kazuma? Your sister is here. Your fucking mom is here. Like everyone you've ever known. Yeah, see, that's what the dragons are supposed to look like.
That still looks kind of small.
Maybe it's a run.
Yeah. it's still noticeably bigger than the rest. Dragons.
I think the sisters were noticeably bigger. That one's
Yeah,
not as
yeah.
bigger, but at least that one looks fully formed.
Yeah.
Like his color palette isn't off. Like, yeah.
This does not look... Okay, alright, fine. You got one clock and you got a counter. This really does not look like a clock room, though.
No, you're right. It doesn't. But that will come into play later. I'm not exactly.
Will there be clocks there? Because if not, then I don't see how.
Well, okay. Like, see, in the last level, what happens with that is, in the last level, it times you, basically, so you can see how long it takes you to beat the last level with that. So it's just like a kind of extra thing where you can go, oh, I beat it in like 2 minutes. Well, I beat it in 2 minutes and 1 minute and 58 seconds, you fucking noob. No, it's just something like that.
Why are you killing the ghosts of Munchlax?
Hey, I don't like normal types, alright? They're fucking boring.
But I thought you liked Munchlax.
No, I do. Just to make it. I like Munchlax,
Okay. Okay, I just realized something. This whole time, I thought that those guys were just like the island is big enough that it has its own center of gravity, so they're jumping.
Oh.
But now I realize it's because the island is moving so fast to the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everything else is flying.
It would be interesting if this was like Super Mario Galaxying
Yeah.
this shit before, but no, it's just wind. But this is pretty much the first time where we get a really good feel of exactly just how high we fucking are. Like this floating island that came out of fucking nowhere. And I don't know what these
So what would have
ghosts are
happened
all
if you tried to talk to Kazuma and his dragon?
about. He basically asked you again if you want to leave, I think. And then you can say yes or no still. And if you say no, he's like, well, good luck, man. I'm fucking off, dude. If shit gets real, I'm out. I'm fucking out. So, oh look, another Mamiga. This guy is. He actually used to be a human too, like Sue. Yeah. See, like he got turned into a. And he's an engineer, like me. So, I relate.
I see. But does he specialize in antenna, though?
Nah, he's just a general quote-unquote engineer, which doesn't really mean anything because there are so many fucking sub-fields in engineering that it's not.
This music.
Oh yes,
Oh,
yes. Next
okay.
part, we will get to hear that music in full. It's
Why
the
wouldn't
best
you
song
just
in the game.
cut
to me.
the episode after talking? Whatever. I don't care anymore.
It seems like Ariel's sick of us shit.
Just a bit, yes. I'm sick of a lot of shit.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Back to the best song ever in the next episode.